Hello. It's been a while since I posted a video. I'm at a bit of a different angle now. I don't have the mount up in this new truck I got. It's got some fancy system in it, so I don't have to mount my phone up, but maybe I should get one if I post more videos. But anyway, here I am. We are advancing in the the pre-run to the primary, I guess I could call it, the pre-primary. We got Dukes up and people are coming out swinging. We got Donald Trump in the lead. Trump's looking good. Every one of these indictments that will never turn into convictions. And all this witch hunt type stuff, I think it's going to help him. I do. And maybe I shouldn't call it a witch hunt. I mean, I don't want to get this. I've had videos removed before, so maybe I'll retract that and just call them indictments. All right. So he's being indicted on paperwork. If you look at the statute of the Espionage Act, it doesn't even equate to espionage, and that's what they were trying to get him on. And I don't think that's going to work, but that's also not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about my shaved face. I know I'm not the best looking clean-shaven man. I was trimming my mustache and my thing slipped and I shaved off half my mustache, so I couldn't have a beard without a mustache. It didn't look right. I tried, but it didn't look right. So anyway, and I didn't want to do the John Quincy Adams with the mutton chops. So, but anyway, so talking about the people running for president right now. As at least on the Republican side, Democrats, so far it just looks like Biden and RFK Jr. Incidentally, RFK Jr., he's a little kooky, but he makes a heck of a lot more sense than Joe Biden. His public health policy is actually, pretty sane. But I mean, he's a Kennedy, right? So, he is as establishment of a politician as it gets, right? So, I would prefer him over Biden if I had to choose. But let's talk about the Republican side, because that's where all the dukes are up, right? So we've got Donald Trump leading in the polls by like 50 freaking points, right? I mean, it's insane. I don't think anybody else is going to get the nomination other than Trump. And some people say, well, what if he's convicted? He can still run from a jail cell. So I'm not saying he's going to go into one, but it's true. He can run and he can win. And it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. So let's talk, though. We've got Donald Trump looking good. Support for him is growing. We had Governor Ron DeSantis up there at the number 2 spot until Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA event, which was last week, and Vivek Ramaswamy came to the Turning Point the Turning Point USA event. And he just searched, and it was in Florida. Like, why Ron DeSantis decided not to go there is beyond me. So I think he was in Iowa. I guess Iowa's, it's one of those battleground states, but, you gotta up your national support. So my dream ticket was Trump DeSantis, right? That sure doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now, Trump, as much as I disagree with it, he's calling Ron DeSanctimonious. I love Trump. I want him to win. I voted for him twice. I'll vote for him a third time. But I don't mind criticizing him where he deserves criticizing, right? I think the whole Ron DeSanctimonious thing is a bad look. It's a bad call. But anyway, we've got Donald Trump. We've got Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, who completely... I'll try to censor myself and I'll swear so much. I'll say he pooped the bed, right? I mean, they asked... Tucker Carlson asked him, about helping, American infrastructure and American, versus, going out of their way to help Ukraine. And Mike Pence came out and just said, that's not my concern. So I don't know if that's what he meant, but it sure puts the focus, it sure makes it look like he's saying the, America itself and our infrastructure and our policy within the country is none of his concern, which is the complete opposite of America First, right? I mean, he had this whole America First agenda with Donald Trump, and now it seems like that's out the window, right? So, I didn't think Mike Pence had much of a chance. I think he was a good vice president, and then he really showed his true color. I think he wore a good mask for his vice presidency. I guess he was a decent governor in Indiana. I'm not in Indiana, but from what I hear, he was a decent governor. And that's kind of like Ron DeSantis. He's a great governor, actually. It's not even just a good governor. He's a great governor. Terrible presidential candidate, right? And it's not saying that he'd be bad at the job. He's just not good at running a campaign. And that's kind of the same with Mike Pence. But I think Mike Pence would be a really... I almost don't want to use the term, but I'm going to use it. Boring president, right? Just kind of like that establishment type that goes with the flow, and kind of like a, George W. Bush or like Barack Obama in his first term. He kind of went with the flow. Barack Obama kind of, he had a little more gusto his second term, right? Not that I was a big fan of his, but he wasn't boring, right? Mike Pence he's just this vanilla candidate that just kind of, you just feel like he's going to appoint people to point him in the right directions, right? Versus somebody who's going to stand up and make the call. Like, that's what we need. We need somebody who's going to stand up, knows the job, going to make the call, he's going to be unapologetic. I don't see that from Mike Pence. I obviously see that from Donald Trump because he displayed it for 4 years, right? And I do think Ron DeSantis would do that, but he's just not running the campaign the way he should. I just don't think he's going to get there. At Turning Point, they did a vice presidential straw poll type thing, and they didn't have any of the candidates up there because, they're running for president. But they had Carrie Lake came up, I think she's from Arizona. These videos I do, they're unedited, unfiltered, so, I think that, it's all whatever is in my memory bank. I'm pretty sure she's from Arizona. I think she ran for governor of Arizona. And then she lost, but there was some weird, it was Maricopa County, I think it was. It was all messed up. It's like everywhere else in the 2020 election, right? So who knows, but anyway, I think the new dream ticket is, I really like Vivek Ramaswamy. He's only 35 years old, though, and I think he's going to be president one day. I don't think it's going to be this time around, but I think he would be an excellent vice presidential pick. I think that a Trump-Ramaswamy ticket would be chef's kiss. You know what I mean? It would just be fantastic. Looking forward to seeing if that can play out. That would be super cool. That would be a huge America First ticket, even bigger than Trump Pence. So looking forward to that. Who else do we got running? We got Chris Christie. Roll that beach ball off the cliff. I mean, come on. That's never going to happen. I don't even want to waste time on that. Chris Christie is just the worst. He left New Jersey with like a 10 or 11% approval rating. It was like the worst approval rating in the original stat I heard was in New Jersey governor history, but I think it's actually the worst in governor history in the United States. And you think about some terrible governors. I mean, just take my state, for example. Rod Blagojevich went to prison with a higher approval rating than Chris Christie. You know, Pat Quinn was awful, and he had a higher approval rating than Chris Christie, okay? So, I can't imagine Chris Christie going anywhere, right? So yeah, I mean, we got I think the Trump Ramaswamy thing would be awesome. You know, I will fully and enthusiastically even support any Republican candidate that gets the nomination, except for Chris Christie. I just can't. I cannot get excited for Chris Christie. He is the most backstabbing candidate or person in politics I've ever seen. You know, Trump. You know, he was fully supportive of Trump until, I don't know, until he turned on him. It was like out of the blue. So he's just trying to get his 15 minutes of fame back, and he's he's probably doing it for the money. He knows he's not going to win the freaking presidency, and even if he did, he wouldn't be able to handle it. But I don't know what would be worse, a Chris Christie or a Joe Biden. I guess we know Joe Biden's terrible, so Joe Biden's not even worth discussing, I feel like. There's no way that guy's going to do another term. But what we got to be careful of is electing Biden and Kamala back, and, they pull Biden out, and then we got President Kamala on day 2, right? So, I've heard rumors of people like Gavin Newsom or somebody coming in, but it's really not worth talking about until it's confirmed. But anyway, my overall take, I like Trump, obviously. That's my boy. I'm on the Trump train, but I like Vivek. Vivek Ramaswamy is kind of a breath of fresh air, right? It's been really cool seeing him progress. I think he would just be such an excellent vice presidential candidate. He's shown lots of support for Donald Trump. So I think regardless of what happens, he's getting some sort of cabinet spot or a VP or something like that. Either he's going to be president or he's going to work directly with the president. As long as it's Donald Trump. I don't see any reason why it won't be. But anyway, there's my 2 cents with my naked face. And we'll see. I'll try to do another video or 2. I like doing them, but man, life's been busy. I had another kid since I did the last one. I think I might have done one afterwards after he was born. I don't remember, but I got a family of 5 now. It's a wild ride, and I'm working a lot, and dirty hands, clean money, right? So it's hard to keep up with these, but I'll give it a shot. See ya.